Shocking case here that's coming in from Kerala, where the state police has busted a child pornography racket, and a huge number of arrests that have taken place here. 41 people. This includes IT professionals for allegedly sharing sexually explicit material involving children through social media. Now, the accused were allegedly circulating this material using chatting platforms, apps such as WhatsApp as well as Telegram Messenger, and using encrypted handles. The Kerala police here has further seized multiple evidence. This is in the form of 285 devices. It includes laptops, it includes mobile phones, modems, hard disk, memory cards, computers, other electronic equipment there as well. The police here also, in yet another horrifying note, suspect that this could not just be a child pornography racket, but as chats, as they have been scrutinizing these chats from equipment that has been now seized, are also indicating here that this also could involve child trafficking. These are multiple updates coming in here on this case, but remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. These are still ongoing investigations. These are still the initial details here that have come in. Let's speak to the expert with us this evening. We have with us Mr. Manu Zakaria, who's a cyber security expert. Good evening, Mr. Zakaria. Appreciate you being with us. Are you surprised with this nature of a crackdown, or the ease with which one can go ahead and carry on in circulating child pornography material at such a scale?
So, in my opinion, first of all, good evening, everyone. In my opinion, this is not very surprising in the sense that with my experience and exposure to the internet and my, understanding of these cases, this has been there. The only thing is there is regular patrolling of the cyberspace is happening. And that's what, when we do regular patrolling, then we catch these kind of activities. If these kind of things are not reported, that doesn't mean it is not happening. So my opinion is it's happening everywhere. Only a recent, a patrolling happened, then we were able to catch. But this is just, a small portion. There is a bigger chunk that is very live, very active, something like on the darknet and all those places. These are very, very active.
But Mr. Zakaria, there's so many existing laws. There has been upgradation of existing laws here as well in zero tolerance regarding child porn. The government notifies new POCSO rules here on this as well. As far as keeping vigil, do you think there's a lot more that the cyber team of any police team that needs to be doing here?
Yes, exactly. So if you look at like 10 years before or 15 years before, there was no law on child pornography. Now things have changed. There are strict rules. Now the next thing that we need is the awareness. How many of the citizen or they are aware like what to do in case if they see something, how they can report, where they should report, how they should report. So these kind of information has to be disseminated. The citizen should know how can they report and all those things. That is one side of it. The second is how can they protect the family, the children. For example, the lockdown, as we all are aware, we spend more time online compared with pre-lockdown days. So, even nowadays, the kids spend almost 8 hours on the electronic device as part of their online classes and all those things. And parents, they are also busy with their work or, with other activities. So they don't have time. Now, talking about parental controls, how many Indian, parents can afford to buy a licensed version of a software which will protect their kids? So there are so many factors here which plays a major role in the, the increase in the number. Probably the government has to pitch in here with some form of, software that can protect the kids online when they are online for classes. Some kind of software that will protect the kids online. These kind of, the processes that we have to implement to address this problem. So coming to your point, we need to do a lot more things. This is just the one case that we found from, the country. A lot of other activities are happening is what I can say.
All right. Mr. Zakaria, request you to please stay on with us because we're getting in further ground inputs by our team of correspondents here as well. We have with us our correspondent Vivek with further details on what more is known on this particular case here. Vivek, of course, a lot of devices and evidence that has just now been seized by the police with 41 arrests here. There could be more coming in. This could be a much wider racket. More importantly, something that could spill into child trafficking as well, as has already been mentioned by the police.
Hey. Yeah, that's true. There is, more evidences are supposed to be, yet to be retrieved in this particular case. Remember, nearly 1,500 GB data is something which, Swapna, Suresh, Sandeep and Sarit Nair are having in their hard disk and, other gadgets. So all these data has to be retrieved. Only half of the, data has been retrieved. Now, with whatever evidences they have managed to get the WhatsApp chats between Swapna Suresh and also Venu Gopal, the chartered accountant of M. Shivashankar. And what they clearly understood is that there was financial transactions that was happening between Swapna Suresh and M. Shivashankar. M. Shivashankar has clearly denied all these allegations in the various questioning that took place. Remember, the customs questioned him twice, the NIA thrice, and the ED once. All these, questioning, he has clearly denied all these allegations. But now there is solid evidence to prove that, he was in constant touch with Swapna Suresh. Remember, 8 times Swapna Suresh has met him officially in his office in the Secretariat. And what is even more shocking, out of the 8 meetings, even Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan was present himself in the 6 of these meetings. So Pinarayi Vijayan was aware of Swapna Suresh getting a job in the space park.
Right. All right, Vivek, this time specifically we are talking about the child pornography case and further updates there that are coming in on that here. Mr. Zakaria, also help us understand on how challenging this becomes for the police. While there are existing laws on action that can be taken who are caught, what about preventive measures here? How prepared are we for preventive measures? It seems that there is a massive technological upgradation that is required, which isn't happening on ground.
Yeah, so we have a couple of challenges here. The first thing is the privacy or the privacy factor. You cannot straight away get into somebody's system and monitor them. So that factor is there. We have data privacy laws. A lot of things are there. So you cannot just monitor anybody and everybody. That is point number one. Point number two is a lot of attacks are happening. So, everybody is going encrypted platform. So which means that even if there is a legal permission is there to intercept a traffic, it cannot be easily done because the communication is encrypted. Take the example of WhatsApp. We all know it is end-to-end encrypted.
What is wrong with him?
So this is encryption is the next challenge that the law enforcement agencies are facing. The third one is, as you rightly said, the technology is advancing very fast. So we have, new technology domains like artificial intelligence, machine learning. These has to be adopted to, fight against the child pornography or investigating these kind of scenarios, which, a lot of things are happening, but I think more has to be done to implement more, international partnership and, inclusion of new technologies. The final point I would like to add here is it cannot be done only by the law enforcement agencies. The industry has to come forward. The private-public partnership model has to be pitched in because only when citizens report these kind of things we can easily or, at a faster phase we can find out. So I think the involvement of the citizen is also a primary point here.
Right, Mr. Zakaria, when you say that this crackdown comes about only when citizens report, do you think there's a lot more that any cybercrime cell of the police that needs to be doing that needs now to be very much part of their brief on their job?
As I said earlier, awareness is one prime factor through which we can address this. both at the preventive side as well as finding out who is doing what and all those things. So yes, the police has a major role to play. A lot of state police across India is doing a lot of things, lot of campaigns, lot of activities are being done to catch these kind of criminals as well as to spread awareness, because until and unless if the parents know about these things, the bad elements that is happening in the cyberspace, they will think that their kids are studying. They will never ever think that something wrong is happening or something bad is happening. So the awareness also is very, very important, which I think if it comes from a very authentic source, something like the government or the police department, then, the citizen tend to listen more, or it is more authentic rather than a WhatsApp forward. All of you know what happens when a normal WhatsApp forward comes. Most of us now don't trust it. But if it is coming officially from the handles of, any state police or from an official authority, that has more value is what I believe.
Mr. Manu Zakaria, I appreciate you speaking with us here. Remember, this is going to be an ongoing debate here. Citizens' awareness vis-a-vis police keeping vigil here on this as well. This is the child pornography crackdown that we're talking about that could also spill into child trafficking.